What's up, guys? I'm Cody Brockway, and welcome to my record store, Second Chance Records in Caledonia, Ontario. Let's go. So music has been a huge part of my life. In fact, it's been my entire life since I was born, pretty much. I came out pretty much with two drumsticks in my hand. I imagine that must have been pretty painful. But no, I've been a musician my entire life. Much thanks to my dad, who was a touring musician and in many bands throughout the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and the support of him and my mom in pursuing music in my own life has been very astounding and something I'm very grateful for. I'm huge into stuff like progressive rock and heavy metal, hard rock, that sort of thing, all of that. And so I've been drumming ever since I was just a little child, and then I took more seriously to it as well when I was in my teenage years, and now I'm nearly 30, and I'm in a band that's about to put out a record. We're called Octavium, so that's pretty cool. And I got into vinyl when I was really young, just always loved physical media. Mom and Dad always bought me CDs right from when I was a baby, and then I was like, well, I want records, and people were throwing them away, so I started collecting them, and then, over time, they became a big selling thing again. So I was like, well, you know what, I would love to own a record store and have a cool place for cool people to come and meet and listen to really awesome music, and I could put people onto new stuff and people put me onto new stuff, and that's kind of how she goes here at Second Chance Records. But that's kind of how I got into vinyl, and it sounds the best. You see the I started off, how this whole thing started off was actually me selling records out of my garage, way back, going back 10, 11 years now. And then we opened up our first storefront, which was around the corner, in a very, very, very small room, just selling a little bit of used vinyl. And from there it grew and grew. We got bigger in that location. We ended up taking over the entire commercial front of that building. And then we ended up moving over here, where you can see this awesome video being taken. And we've been here for nearly 7 years now, and we've been open. We've actually just about to hit our 10-year anniversary here at Second Chance Records, which is pretty cool. I'm very proud. So I chose to get the awesome murals in the shop done by the wonderful Lacey Victoria, who has an art studio based out of Dunnville, Ontario. She's fantastic. She did all the painting and all the murals in the store. If you come in the store, you'll see what I'm talking about. She also did the artwork for Octavium's Bloodleaf Ritual, which is really, really cool. That'll be out soon. But the art is so important to the music, especially if you're a vinyl collector like me. You pull the record out of the sleeve and you're seeing how the art correlates with the music that you're hearing. And so many records have so many memorable album art covers. And so you come in the store and you're just like, oh wow, I had that album, I know that album, I love that band, love that logo. It's also recognizable, and ultimately when you leave, you're never gonna forget it. The store is located at 20 Argyle Street North, Caledonia, Ontario, Canada, and our website is www.secondchancerecords.ca. We do ship everywhere in the world, pretty much. But the reason I opened it up in the small town of Caledonia is because I'm from here. I spent most of my life growing up here in Caledonia, and it's a small town. There's not really a lot that goes on around here, so I figured this would be a great thing for the community to bring outsiders in and to give so much back to the community that has given so much to me overall in my life. We sell everything here. We sell t-shirts, sweaters, CDs, vinyl records, cassettes, backpacks, lots of really, really cool things. Jean jackets, posters, you name it, we've got it all here at Second Chance Records. Here we've got 5 great albums from 5 great bands that have influenced me greatly over the course of my life, going back right from the beginning to the present day. In no chronological order, of course, we're going to start off with Iron Maiden and Power Slave. Honestly, I could have picked any one of their 80s albums in particular. I love all the 2000s records they've done as well, but this run of albums that they did from Killers up to Seventh Son of a Seventh Son is just remarkable, and this album is absolutely no exception to that rule. Power Slave is one of the greatest things this band ever did. I mean, listen to Octavium and then listen to a track like Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. We're absolutely very, very influenced from Iron Maiden, as you can even tell with the title track to our upcoming album, Bloodleaf Ritual. Fantastic album. This next one here is, it comes with a backstory. This is one of the first bands I ever got into, Led Zeppelin II. So when I was a child, my mom and dad got me this little Sesame Street bus with a cassette deck in the back of it and a speaker inside of it. It's just one of those that you just roll around on the floor with wheels and everything. It just happened to have a really cool cassette deck in it. And I would play the first 2 tracks on this album, which is Whole Lotta Love and What Is and What Should Never Be, over and over and over till the tape would wear out and they would have to burn me a new copy of the tape. But now I have it on vinyl and I can listen to the whole record and the whole thing just blows my mind. This album is absolutely a huge influence to my drumming. There's so many cases where it's like, well, even in writing my own music, it's like, well, what would John Bonham do? What would John Bonham do here? And, you know, absolutely, yeah, Led Zeppelin 2 for the win for sure. Another here is one that might be a very obvious choice, because those of you that know me know that this is my favorite band of all time, among many. But those of you that don't know, it's Genesis, and this is the Selling England by the Pound record from 1973. This is Genesis kind of at their best. I like most of their music from both eras, both the Peter Gabriel and Phil Collins era, right up to We Can't Dance, great stuff. But this album really just kind of amalgamates everything that early Genesis was and puts it all into a blender, and you get just the brilliance of all 5 members working perfectly alongside each other. And the contributions from all 5 of them is just remarkable, and the way this record flows is fantastic. It's like sitting at an English tea party, listening to really intricate music. Oh, but it's great. Firth the Fifth. I mean, where would I be as a drummer without Firth the Fifth and the Battle of Epping Forest cinema show? Great stuff. This next one proved to be a huge one, being my dad's favorite band of all time. It was definitely something that was played a lot around my house. My mom loved it too, but he was a diehard. He went and seen them in concert like 20 times. In fact, he took me, and I went to see them 3 times with him in my life. We're talking about Yes. And how could I not mention Close to the Edge? You know, right from when I was a very young kid, I had an affinity for making longer songs, and my dad and I used to record music together with our frog puppets, and I was always pushing for the length of the songs to be longer than they probably needed to be with the ideas that we had, but it was a lot of fun. And this definitely, you know, the whole concepts and the way that, you know, things have ebbs and flows to them, and the dynamics, so much of that can be credited to my love of Yes. And again, once you listen to Octavium, you can see that the length of the songs are pushed a bit on the sort of longer side. We don't have an 18-minute epic yet. That day's coming. But, you know, the other side of this, you get And You and I and Siberian Catcher coming in at 8 to 10 minutes, respectively. This is possibly Yes's best record, but it's hard to say. Either way, masterpiece, Close to the Edge, huge influence on me for sure. And last but not least, here's another record that is evidently a huge influence on myself and probably Octavium as a whole once again. Most of us in the band are pretty big Metallica fans. I would be remiss to not mention Ride the Lightning, a fantastic record. You know how many times I sit behind the kit and I will throw on the first 2 songs on this, Fight Fire with Fire and Ride the Lightning, and just bang along on the drums to this. Absolutely. I know Lars, for some reason people say things about him. He's a huge influence on me and my playing, especially if you go back to the early days of the band, like this record. For Whom the Bell Tolls, Trapped Under Ice, Creeping Death, absolutely fantastic. They're just thrash masterpieces. They borderline on prog a lot, and I really love the intricacies of what Metallica was doing in particular on this record. Very good. Well, there you have it, folks. there's an entire tour of Second Chance Records. That's right. Thank you so much for watching this video in its entirety. I really appreciate you. Second Chance Records is coming up on its 10th anniversary. I can't believe it. It's been 10 years since I opened the store. I was 17 years old. That is really, really cool. And of course, we are located at 20 Argyle Street North, Caledonia, Ontario, Canada. If you want to come and see us, that'd be absolutely fantastic. It'd be great to meet you. And if you've been in before, come in again. Our website is www.secondchancerecords.ca, and we ship everywhere in the world. Yes, we've been open for 10 years, and here's to another 10 more. Once again, I'm Cody Brockway, and thanks for coming to my crib. Boom!